Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do the mid-year book freakout tag. I cannot believe we're already in June, almost at the end of June. We're almost at the halfway through 2026. Like, where has the time gone? But let's do this. Best book you've read so far in 2026. And that would be a middle grade book. It's called Real by Carol Kujek and Peyton Goddard. I heard about this one from Beth from Soul Stained Ink. This one is about Charity. She's 13 years old. She doesn't speak. So, you know, she's never spoken. She's a nonverbal autistic child. So nobody knows that she likes pepperoni pizza, sour gummies, and she has mad math skills and a near perfect memory. But with a mouth that can't speak and a body that jumps, rocks, and howls unpredictably, most people incorrectly assume she cannot learn. Charity's brain works differently from most people's because of her autism, but she's still funny, determined, and kind. So why do people treat her like a disease or ignore her like she's invisible? When Charity's parents enroll her in a public junior high school, she faces her greatest fears. Will kids make fun of her? Will her behavior get her kicked out? Will her million thoughts stay locked in her head forever? With the support of teachers and newfound friends, Charity will have to fight to be treated like a real student. Inspired by a true story, speaks to all those who've ever felt they didn't belong and reminds readers that all people are worthy of being included. So, yeah. I kind of wanted to read the dedications that both of these authors wrote. I lost it. To all teachers who see their students with positive possibilities instead of limitations. Carol Kujek. To all awed by feeling you are nothings, know you are pertinent to the whole of creation. Know you are real to God and me. Peyton Goddard. So, yeah, that's that one. It's my favorite book. It's going to come up a lot in videos. And then I also included We Were the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter. Even though this is a reread, I've done a lot of rereads this year, which I've been really happy about. But this one I wanted to reread because I wanted to watch the show. And what I did was I reread the book and kind of followed along with the show. As soon as the show got to a place that I hadn't read in the book yet, I would stop and kind of read it and then go back to the show. It was definitely some things were moved around a bit, so I didn't always work, but it was a really good way of doing it because you get really confused with so many characters. So this is basically the journey of the Kirk family, the parents, the siblings, the spouses, and their kids, and how they all survived World War II. That's why they're called We Were the Lucky Ones, because, well, not everyone made it, and most complete families didn't make it. So it was about all of their journeys during the war, and you got to follow them in different parts of the world. So some people had to deal with Hitler, some people had to deal with Stalin's regime. You got to see kind of how the war affected different parts of the world. So that was interesting, and it was interesting to watch it on TV, or on Hulu. It was also kind of terrifying to watch it on Hulu. So, yeah. Number 2. Best sequel you've read so far. Honestly, I've only read one, At Morning's Light, Home to Green Creek, number 2, by Lorraine Snelling. Can't really talk about it, but it was a good read. I mean, I can't wait for the next one. Number 3, new release you haven't read but want to. I have a few. Mad Mabel by Sally Hepworth. I don't understand what it's about. It's about someone who was accused of murder and how she befriends a little kid. I don't know. It's kind of weird. There are 2 kinds of people no one ever expects to be. Little girls. What? There are 2 kinds of people no one ever expects to be. Little girls and old ladies. Elsie Mabel Fitzpatrick is 81 years old. She's lived on her idyllic street for 60 years, longer than anyone else. Aside from being a curmudgeon who minds everyone else's business, few would suspect that Elsie has a past she's worked exceedingly hard concealing. Because when it comes to murder, no one ever suspects little girls or old ladies. I don't know what that means, but it's Sally Hepworth, so I'm reading it anyway. I have not read Into a Golden Era, Gabrielle Meyer's new book yet. So, yeah. I want to read Summer State of Mind by Christy Woodson Harvey. I heard about this one from Chloe from Always Booked, and book lover Amanda just said it was good. I need to take their word for it, because the last book I read by her, which was called The Summer of Songbirds, I wanted to fling out a window, except that I can't because I use my phone to listen to them, so my phone would have to go out the window, and that would not be good. But, yeah, it's about a NICU nurse who takes off to Cape Carolina, North Carolina, looking for a new life and new romance. On her first day at her simpler job, high school baseball coach Mason Faisden discovers an abandoned baby, and I guess they have a thing. Nothing I love more than abandoned baby stories, which sounds weird when I say that out loud, but anyway. Then we have The Deep End of Love by Christina Suzanne Nelson. I love all her books that I've read so far, so I know this one will be good. It's about a girl who's pregnant as a teenager. I'm assuming there's someone going to adopt it, and just different everyone's reactions to her pregnancy. This book could either be really good or really sad. I never really know with adoption stories of, like, babies. It's easier when the bio parents, like, truly suck and, like, the kids are quote-unquote rescued, which I understand it's not that simple. But, yeah. These kind of stories where they're just young teenagers giving up babies just seem harder for me. I don't know. We'll see. She's pulled it off so far. Maybe I'll like it. Number 4. Most anticipated book for the second half of the year. I have Everything Was Beautiful and Nothing Hurt by Ben Reeves. I heard about this one from Hannah from the Book Talk Etc. podcast. We have Travis. He's like a death doula or something. I don't know if he works through hospice or whatever. He offers people comfort in their final hours of life. And then we have, he meets, what's her name? Dahlia, a midwife, and her boisterous 8-year-old daughter, Layla, who live across the hall from him, and I'm guessing a romance develops, and yeah, it's interesting to see someone who, like a couple who, one of them is like, their job is to see the end of life, and the other one is to see life come into the world. So, I predict that will make me cry. Then we have No One to Miss Me by Kathy Glass. This one's coming out on September 10th. Oh, the other book was coming out. When was it coming out? July 7th. So yeah, the Kathy Glass one is No One to Miss Me. It's coming out on September 10th. She hasn't done a fostering memoir in a long time. She basically writes like memoirs of her fostering experiences, but she hasn't done any because she's now retired. So she does like respite care, or she helps families who haven't gotten their kids taken yet, and she kind of gives them some help. So it'll be interesting to see what this book is, considering she's not like full-time fostering anymore. Anyway, number 5, biggest disappointment. I have a few here. We have Dear Mrs. Bird by A.J. Pierce. I heard about this one from Chantel, and I thought this was going to be fun. It's about this Emmy Lake. She wants to write for the newspaper, and she wants to become a lady war correspondent, and she is instead the typist for the fierce advice columnist Henrietta Bird. But Henrietta doesn't want to talk about real things, and Emmy does start to talk about real things in her advice column for people. And I didn't like this book because I didn't really care about Emmy's personal life or her crushes or who she falls in love with. I wanted to hear her advising people, and that was barely in it. So I just didn't care. And she has like a fight with her best friend's boyfriend slash fiance, and she feels guilty about it later for reasons I won't say, but I was annoyed with her because I thought she was in the right, even if what happened. It was annoying. Then we have The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I honestly don't know why I didn't like this one. I just didn't care about the mystery. It's a bunch of old people solving murders. Like, we're talking people in their 80s. They're funny, but I just didn't care. I didn't understand the mystery. I kept zoning out. So, yeah, I didn't like it. I don't know why. There's just no reason. Then we have South of Somewhere by T.I. Lowe. I gave this 3 stars. This is actually one of Katie's from Paper Hacks and Ponytails favorite books from her freak out tag. And okay, here's why I didn't like it. We have, what's her name? A young mother filled with regret. She, what is this woman's name? I'm trying to get past the book reviews. Juniper Wilder. She is grieving. Her grief spirals into addiction, leading her to be arrested for drunk driving, then jail and court-ordered rehab. She lost her baby during that time, and her brother has her baby, and I was expecting a very different book. I was expecting that he would be wary, but the courts would make him, do visitation. She'd work up to it. He'd be kind of frustrated with the system. But no, what ended up happening in this book, I'm spoiling it, but I don't really care, is that he was a jerk. He's holding his kid over her head and, basically saying, you can't see her till I think you're ready. I'm God, judge, and jury, and I say no. And I wanted her to go to court. I wanted a fight, and I didn't get a fight. And it turned around because of a romance she's having, and I'm just like, I don't really care about you falling in love with what's-his-face. I want to see you fighting for your kid, and not taking, what's the not curse word version that I want to say? Not taking ish from your brother. I hated this guy, royally. So, it made me despise the book. But I needed to see how it ended, so I didn't, DNF it either. Anyway, sorry, T.I. Lowe. Hopefully I like something else you wrote, because I just bought Under the Magnolias. Number 6, Biggest Surprise. These are going to be so different. We have The Carpool Detectives, a true story of 4 moms, 2 bodies, and 1 mysterious cold case by Chuck Hogan. Basically, this is about a group of moms during COVID who basically are bored, and they're into true crime, and they solve this cold case, and I can't really say more, but it's really good. They're just these amateur bored housewives. Well, not housewives. They're not able to work. They're stuck at home with their kids, and yeah, they're just boring, normal people who made friends solving this cold case, and it's good. You wouldn't even know it was nonfiction. It reads like a thriller, kinda. So yeah. Then we have The Mermaid's Tale, Chronicles of the Undersea Realm #1 by L.E. Richmond. I heard about this one from Tales with Tay. I was surprised. I don't know. It sounded interesting, but yeah, basically we have Lachlan. She was born with legs. She's a mermaid. It's the result of her great-great-grandmother's curse. It makes it impossible for her to belong under the sea when her niece is also born without a tail. So they have tails, and they have legs instead of tails. Lachlan is determined to save her from rejection by sending her to the only place in the undersea realm where legs are acceptable. And Darren Alto is the love interest, and he helps her with this. And I just really enjoyed this book because it's just the sense of place. Like, I felt like I was in the water with them, swimming. Then we have The Maid by Nita Prose. I've been kind of just not really that interested in this book. I heard about it from a lot of people, but most recently from Alma's book journey. It's about this, she's a maid, Molly Gray. She accidentally discovers a dead body in the hotel she works for, and she's very blunt and just, she's on the spectrum, I think, even though they don't say it. Like, she's so funny, because she's not intending to be funny. And it's just her solving this, actually being accused at some point of murder. So, yeah, it was a great read, and I need to read the next one. Just the series is hilarious. And then Maisie Dobbs. These are a lot of mysteries, aren't they? This one was also kind of wild. I heard about this one from Krista. Honestly, everybody. Shelley Swearingen, Gloria Z. Thompson. We have Daisy Dobbs, psychologist and investigator. She, solves just, I guess, cases. This first one was about a guy who thinks his wife's cheating on him. But it's such a weird mix of mystery and, historical fiction with a ton of PTSD drama from World War I. It's such a weird mashup, and I enjoyed it. And the audio's great. 7. New favorite author. Alison Tebow. I read The Reluctant Godfather. Lindsay from Books for Christian Girls suggested it and cackled the entire way through, so I read the rest of the series. Then we have Colleen Coble. I read the Annie Peterson series this month, and I remember I read Fragile Design last year or the year before and really loved it. That's why I bought the Annie Peterson series, but I finally read it. So right after that, during the time I was reading it, I realized there was a series before that, the Rock Harbor series, so I just bought all of them. So I can't wait to read them. Then we have Sadiqa Johnson. I read 2 of her books this year. I read her newest one, and then I went to her one that she wrote a couple years ago, The House of Eve, and I really liked it. And then, of course, Melanie Sellier with her Four Kingdoms series. I know I'm really slow at reading them because there's so many, and I do want to read other things too, but I'm really enjoying them. I need to get back to that series. And Mary Meekum, a lot of fairy tale authors. So, yeah. Number 8, newest fictional crush. I don't have one. Number 9, new favorite character. Emma M. Lyon, obviously. And Molly Mackenzie from All That Really Matters by Nicole Dees. I just read it last month. So this book was about Molly, and she was like this beauty influencer, and I think the whole story is supposed to be about her she goes to work for this center for foster kids that age out of the system, and she's supposed to learn to, I guess the point is that she has to learn to think about others and less about, I guess, beauty and influence or whatever, put her phone down. I guess that's what the author was going for, but I weirdly never disliked her. I thought I was going to, but what I ended up disliking was the guy. At first, he grew on me, which is also a rarity. Generally, when I hate the guy forever. But I really liked him after a couple chapters. But I never really disliked her. I didn't need her to change, I guess is what I'm saying. I liked her how she was. I didn't think she was shallow. I didn't think she needed... There's some people where I can see, okay, you need saving in some way or other, whether it's Jesus or whatever. But, I just didn't feel like she was one of those who needed it that badly. I don't know. So I just really fell in love with her from the beginning. I didn't think she was that troubled, I guess. Or I fall for this transformation that needed to happen for her. I don't know, but I really liked her. Number 10, book that made you cry. 3 Blue Hearts by Lynn Kelly. I heard about this one from book lover Amanda. I mean, I never thought that an octopus would make me cry. Max is a politician's son, basically. His parents are divorced, and his dad wants him to be a chip off the old block. He escapes for the summer with his mother, even changes his name so no one knows who he is for the summer, and he finds an octopus, he meets some friends, and yeah. He also has grandparents that I love. They're not even his grandparents, that's what makes it even better. They're his former stepmother's parents. And when his father divorced his, second or third wife, they stayed in his life, and I just loved that. So, that book just made me cry. Book that made me happy. Wombat Waiting by Catherine Applegate. This is her newest book. She's the one who wrote the One and Only Ivan series. But this one was about a dog who's looking for someone to own him, I guess. He wants to be someone's dog. And it just made me happy. Most beautiful book you've received. Don't own any beautiful books. Or don't own any books in hard copy anyway. The rest of the books you need to read this year. We'd be here all day. We're not doing that. So, yeah. That is my mid-year book freakout tag. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.
Speech on. 20% close. Stop recording.